Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting session, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about new technologies, the teaching methodologies, and digital tools to be used to promote learning. In era of a rapid technology advancement of evolving learning needs, it has become increasingly crucial for educators to embrace innovative approaches and leverage digital tools to enhance student engagement, collaboration, and overall learning outcomes. So, in today's this session, we will discuss the transformative potential of new technologies, emerging teaching methodologies, and cutting-edge digital tools that are reshaping the educational landscape. So, indeed, a very interesting topic. I'm sure you will learn a lot from this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So stay tuned because an amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Alwas for arranging such enlightenment sessions for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Calvas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, suggestions, and tips which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is calm, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have an amazing person as guest. She is a very generous, and this is the third time we have invited her for a wonderful session. Since we have two wonderful sessions with her, so we have requested again for another session with her, and she is kind enough that she had spared her precious time to share her knowledge. As you know, we have already introduced her in the previous sessions in detail, but just a short brief of her that she is from Italy and she has been teaching mathematics in high school for 28 years after graduating in 1994. It means she has almost 3 decades experience as an educator. And now, please help me in welcoming our guest, Professor Melissa Esposito. Welcome to the Calvas platform once again, Prof, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. Let's begin. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. First of all, I want to thank from the bottom of my heart that hired Shah and Kalwas for wanting me yet another session on education, showing confidence towards my researchers. I'm truly
Thank you very much.
honored and happy to be able to share my knowledge of teaching, an activity that I've been doing for several years with love and passion. The topic of today is very rich and interesting. In my opinion, in fact, I will speak to you about new technologies, teaching methodologies, and digital tools to be used to promote learning. Let's begin with a wonderful quote about education and learning. It says, learning is a treasure that will follow its own everywhere. It's a Chinese proverb. First of all, I want to speak to you about educational technology trends. Big data, machine learning, and the Internet of Things, or IoT, were the biggest educational technology trends of these years. However, distance learning has become the one trend that rules them all. The COVID-19 pandemic has drastically changed the way we teach and learn. The latest EdTech trends are being revolutionized with a strong focus on connectivity, versatility, and student-centered learning. Let's take a look at the latest trends in educational technology. What is educational technology and why should it matter? Many people can recognize that EdTech is devoting technology to promote education. It's true, but not sufficient. The Association for Educational Communications and Technology has defined EdTech as facilitating learning and improving performance by creating, using, and managing appropriate technological processes and resources. For educators, EdTech is a concept of transforming traditional book teaching and learning to digital form. For them, the main difference lies in the way knowledge is delivered, thanks to technology innovation, to make teaching more effective. In short, EdTech is simply a process of integrating technology into education, but to build better teaching learning experiences that result in higher learning outcomes. Here are some common advantages of the EdTech. Innovative teaching methods. Technology is an innovation of humans. So when an educator can apply technology to teaching, it is also innovative. EdTech allows teachers to provide multimedia to address different learning styles, such as animation, live video, and so on. Improve collaborative teaching. Technology has made it possible for everyone to stay connected. Students and teachers connect, discuss, share their opinions, and act upon situations collaboratively. What are the teaching and learning process? Firstly, EdTech benefits how teachers teach both online and offline. Secondly, EdTech changes the way students approach learning. EdTech makes learning more fun and exciting for students. When we feel engaged in learning, we learn better, remember better, and also apply knowledge better to real life. Lastly, technology makes education smarter, more effective. Smart educators are those who can create teaching from what learners want to learn. Teachers can do these fascinating things only with the technology, and that's why we need EdTech in life. Here I selected the latest educational technology trends. First, e-learning. Distance learning became the top of a 2020 educational technology trend overnight because of school closures. This led to a rising demand for online education platforms. E-learning is educational or training delivered electronically. With e-learning, educational content is delivered to learners throughout computers, laptops, tablets, or smartphones. Learners can choose what they need to learn quickly and easily wherever they are. Many e-learning courses include animation, podcasts, and videos that create a multimodal and practical learning experience. Educators are using the advantages of technology to make learning more effective. That's why more and more online and blended learning courses are produced nowadays. There are a lot of online learning platforms. You can teach your students in real time, synchronous, via live stream or group meeting using Zoom or Microsoft Teams or Google Meet. Or you can use recorded asynchronous methodologies with a wide range of media and digital functions available to enrich lessons. And then there is a video assisted learning. Video assisted learning has become more and more popular as classroom displays. The video day is no longer a television on a trolley being wheeled into a class. With the internet and digital devices, every day can be a video day. This trend is also booming in distance learning conditions, which students learn throughout computer screens. Animated videos are extremely beneficial to enrich lessons and make content comprehensible. It improves students' outcomes and reduces teachers' workload. Video assisted learning is a growing strategical teaching approach in many modern classrooms. Educational videos are now more accessible than ever, and teachers are increasingly making use of these readily available resources. But with increased use of screen time comes increased controversies and debate. While videos are great for things like social emotional learning, cognitive ability, and inclusivity, if not properly utilized in the appropriate setting, videos will not be used to their full potential and can even hinder academic performance. Video assisted learning, as its core, is simply using video in lessons. But as the technology has advanced, so has the dynamic between student and teacher. This means that nowadays many schools are behind at the times where all students simply strive for the same goal of just a job and merely just sit quietly and listen. We want them to become innovators and creators, to argue and question the things around them, and to grow up to the better, well-rounded, and happy individuals. And big data will get bigger. The learning experience needs to be personalized. And with with the COVID-19 and online learning booming, we now have bigger data than even before. Instructional designers have relevant information about learners' experiences to customize and present the course in a suitable format. And then let's speak a bit about artificial intelligence. Less than a decade after helping the Allied forces win World War II by breaking the Nazi encryption machine Enigma, mathematician Alan Turing changed history a second time with a simple question: can machine think? Turing's 1950 paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, and its subsequent Turing test established that the fundamental goal and vision of artificial intelligence. At its core, AI is the branch of computer science that aims to answer Turing's question in the affirmative. It is the endeavor to replicate or simulate human intelligence in machines. The expansive goal of artificial intelligence has given rise to many questions and debates, so much so that no singular definition of the field is universally accepted. AI now is the in thing in the USA EdTech market. AI could become the primary trend and grow by more than 45%. AI can automate basic activities in education, like grading. It's now possible for teachers to automate grading and multiple choice and fill in the blank questions, for example. Both learners and educators could benefit from AI. Students could get help from AI tutors when teachers are too busy to take care of everyone. That's why some schools use AI systems to monitor students' progress. And learning analytics, what is it? The current landscape of learning analytics has dramatically expanded, especially for higher education. Learning analytics allows educators to measure and report students' learning just by the web. From that, it's possible for them to better understand and optimize their learning. When teachers read insights from students' learning processes, they can improve the knowledge and skill acquisition of their students. For instance, teachers are able to see what type of information that the student enjoy most and use it more in the following lessons. And then let's speak about STEM. STEM-based programs are the new EdTech improvement up over the STEM programs. This new trend of EdTech applies meaningful science, technology, engineering, art, the new element, and math content to solve real-world problems throughout hands-on learning activities and creative design. STEM helps students become increasingly curious about the world around them. For far too long in education, we have been working with the presumption of teaching to ensure our students to get a good job. But what does that look like? We are preparing students for jobs that don't even exist. We are at the point where it is not only possible but imperative that we facilitate learning environments that are fluid, dynamic, and relevant. None of us go outside and look at a tree and say, that's a tree, so that's a science, or the sky is blue, so that's art. Our world is a beautiful, complex, intricate tapestry of learning, all in its own right. Why we do believe that we have the ability on the right box in behind brick walls and classroom doors in a place called the school. Integrating concepts, topics, standards, and assessments is a powerful way to disrupt the typical course of events for our students and to help change the merry-go-round of school. It takes what we do when we open the doors to the real world and places those same practices in our cycles of teaching and learning. So we can finally remove the brick walls and classroom doors to get at the heart of learning. A recent research shows that STEM is a promising approach to positively impacting student achievement and teacher efficacy. In a 2016 study, researchers investigated the impact of STEAM lessons on physical science learning in grades 3 to 5 in high poverty elementary schools in a urban district. Findings indicates that students who received just 9 hours of STEM instructions made improvements in their science achievement. Another study from 2014 shows that the connecting STEM and literacy can positively impact cognitive development, increase literacy and math skills, and help students reflect meaningfully on their work and that their peers. And social media in learning. Have you ever thought that social media would be a part of the learning process? When every student, both young and mature, spends so much time on social media, why don't we turn it into a powerful tool to enhance learning? It's how the idea to use social media for teaching came about. Many educational institutes have started using the social media as a communication tool in which students can interact with others easily. Students can share study materials, discuss with others in a group, or easily comment on someone else's post. And in conclusion, keep in mind that the technology has renewed its whole teaching and learning process. And now let's speak about some important and famous teaching methods. Every student, teacher, and classroom is different, and that's one of the wonderful things about the learning process. As a teacher, you'll try new teaching methods and find out what works best for your students. Why teaching method continue to evolve? Today's teachers face a lot of challenges and have lots of opportunities. The shift to remote learning exposed inequality in classrooms, but also offered new ways for students to engage with interactive learning experiences. New edtech innovations connect classroom learning with the real-world digital skills. Changing ideas about education and pedagogy have added new learning objectives like social emotional learning, differentiation, and personalized learning. Don't be afraid to try new ways for students to learn and stay engaged. Now I will show you some teaching methods that are very useful for teaching. Direct instruction. Direct instruction is when you explicitly convey concepts and skills to students rather than letting them learn on their own. While it might seem odd to start off a list of modern teaching methods with a technique that's been the foundation of traditional classroom instruction for hundreds of years, direct instructions allows you to layer on more recent teaching strategies. According to research, direct instruction is one of the most effective teaching strategies. Although often misunderstood, students who are taught using the direct instruction method perform better in reading, maths, and spelling than those who weren't. If you have no clue what direct instruction is all about, you have come to the right place. This blog, I wanted to explain you. Direct instruction is a teacher-directed teaching method. This means that the teacher stands in front of a classroom and presents the information. The teachers give explicit guided instructions to the students. So, isn't that how everything has always been taught in a classroom? Not entirely. Nowadays, experimenting in education is hot, as teachers find that not all students benefit from listening to a teacher talk all day, and not all lessons are best taught throughout direct instruction. Teachers now match the type of instruction to the task. Using direct instruction is effective when it suits the skill students have to learn. For example, students attend a classroom lecture about ecological diversity, then watch a video from a local conservation group about efforts to preserve local habitats. This direct instruction helps you explain the requirements of a service learning project they are doing to clean up the park near their school. And then I speak about flip the classroom. Homework at home, lectures at school. That's how it's usually done. But in flipped classrooms, students absorb information on their own time and use in-class time for hands-on learning and problem solving. Also known as blended learning, flipped classrooms embrace new edtech innovations and prioritize face-to-face learning activities in order to boost student engagement. It helps students move at their own pace and give you more time to provide one-on-one support where needed. Flipped classrooms can give students a valuable hands-on experience. One of the most exciting advantages in the modern classroom is flipped learning. It hints on the idea that students learn more effectively by using class time for small group activities and individual attention. Teachers then assign students lecture materials and presentations to be viewed at home or outside of the classroom day, prioritizing active learning. According to Carl Armstrong, co-founder of the Flipped Learning Network, Flipped Learning is all about creating opportunities for active engagement. It's a pedagogical approach in which direct instructions moves from the group learning space to the individual learning space. And the resulting group space is transformed into a dynamic, interactive learning environment where the educator guides students as they apply concept and engage creatively in the subject matter, she explains. The flipped learning approach is gaining traction every year. According to a 2014 survey from the Flipped Learning Network, 78% of teachers said that they flipped the lesson, and 96% of those who tried it said they would recommend it to other educators. This indicates that flipped learning inspires teachers to update traditional methods and bring new technology into their classrooms throughout the use of video, screencasts, and more. But what exactly does this mean for classroom teachers? First, they are able to spend more time with the struggling students while allowing more advanced learners the freedom to work ahead. It's a large-scale differentiated instruction built into the curriculum at every opportunity. For example, students read an article about a specific scientific procedure at home, then come to class and do a hands-on experiment. They write up their findings and give a presentation about their results. While they work, you can observe students work to spot learning gaps you can address in future lessons. And then let's speak about game-based learning and gamification, my favorite teaching methods. Game-based learning, or GBL, is a modern teaching method that uses the power of games to define and support learning outcomes. Game-based learning actually uses games to teach, as opposed to gamification, which uses game elements like leaderboards and points to motivate learning. Educational games promote engagement, provide immediate rewards and feedback, and harness the power of healthy competition to keep kids excited to learn. Game-based learning is a teaching method that uses the power of games to define and support learning outcomes. A GBL environment achieves this throughout educational games that have elements such as engagement, immediate rewards, and healthy competition. Also, that while students play, they stay motivated to learn. With online games, in person or with physical objects, independently as a part of a team. In this way, students can learn. For example, there are a lot of game-based learning platforms designed to help students to learn. And gamification. If you are looking for a way to turn learning into a more fun and engaging process, gamification is the most suitable teaching method trend. Students can learn and practice while they are enjoying in exciting game activities. Gaming elements help create a funny and positive learning environment for learners. The adoption of gamification is most popular in some educational sectors. It's because kids are quickly engaged in gaming videos or getting high scores in a game. However, it doesn't mean that higher education or corporate training doesn't need fun elements to improve the engagement level for learners. The gamification theory in education is that learners learn best when they are also having fun. Not only these, they also learn best when they have goals, targets, and achievements to reach for, of course, in a way the learners still perceive as fun, because of the active features of video games that intrigue children and adults and get them hooked. It's only natural that we see similar engagement results when these game-based elements are applied to learning materials. Gamification in learning involves using game-based elements such as point scoring, peer competition, teamwork, score tables to drive engagement, help students assimilate new information and best their knowledge. It can apply to school-based subjects, but is also used widely in self-teaching apps and courses, showing that the effect of gamification do not stop when we are adults. Teachers and parents can implement gamification in various ways across countless subject areas. To the many schools already utilize apps and educational games via computers and tablets. It doesn't all have to be about technology. Unlike game-based learning, which involves students making their own games or playing commercially made video games, gamification is simply bringing game-based elements that make these platforms popular and integrating them into other activities within the classroom. Some examples of games elements that can be used to engage and motivate learners are narrative, immediate feedback, fun, scaffolded learning with the challenges that increase, mastery, for example, in the form of leveling up, progress indicators, for example, throughout points, badges, leaderboards, and the social connection, player control. A classroom that contains some or all of these elements can be considered a gamified classroom. The best combination are the ones that create sustained engagement, consider the unique needs of the learners, and do more than just use points and levels to motivate players. The most effective gamification systems make use of other elements such as a narrative and connection with the fellow players learners to really capture the learner's interest. And what is it, student-centered learning? Above all, student-centered learning involves students in decisions about their learning. It connects students' interest to the classroom and builds an assessment framework to help them understand why the material is important and how it fits into everyday life. Teachers can put student-centered learning to use in their classrooms to increase students' motivation, help students take ownership over their learning, and build stronger relationships. Three ways to think about the role of teaching in this kind of teaching method are resources, mentors, and guides. Student-centered learning helps give them the tools they need to engage with the new topics, make connections between topics, directly relate classroom lessons with what they are experiencing outside the school. For example, students can read a novel about a specific scientific discovery, and submit a book report, or create a budget for marketing a made-up product in math class. Work with the students to find out what they like, how they learn best, and how the project will be assessed. And what is it, teacher-centered learning? Teacher-centered learning is most similar to traditional classroom learning. Students learn mostly independently throughout lectures and receive clear instructions and rubrics from a central authority figure. It is useful to provide a foundation for other work. Most modern classrooms prioritize collaboration, group work, and student exploration for good reasons. For example, teacher-centered learning can still be engaging and motivating for students. If you are starting a new novel study, why not have students journal independently about what they think will happen in the story or what questions they have about the concept? The main difference between teacher-centered and learner-centered approach is that in a teacher-centered approach, students focus completely on the teacher, whereas in learner-centered classroom, both students and educators have equal focus. In a teacher-centered classroom, the teacher talks excessively and students continue to listen. When it comes to activities, teacher-student collaboration is discouraged, unlike inside a classroom that operates with a learner-centered approach, allowing educators and students to interact equally and collaborate with each other. And personalized learning. What is it? Is an educational approach that tailors learning around individual students' needs, interests, and abilities. It helps you differentiate instruction for each student. Personalized learning reaches students of all levels. Personalized learning centers around the tasks of connecting a learner's previous knowledge, experiences, and abilities with the training materials that will link that understanding with the new information. The simplest example of a personalized learning would be when an instructor provides a learning material with the proper content and context, and in the best way for the learner. This is done by using the existing knowledge that the instructor has of the student. The instructor understands how best to connect the learner's previous experiences and abilities to the new information, building links between existing knowledge and new information. Proper learning material is a content that is relevant to the learner's previous experiences. The best way for each learner is delivery of information in such a way that the learner is able to acquire the new information easily. This could be the type of material, video, text, or interactive games, for example. The time spent, the amount of material covered in each session, and the order in which new information is explained. These will vary for each learner, as everyone has different learning styles. For example, if you are starting a new unit, pre-teach foundational concepts are used a quickly journal entry to gauge understanding. Then assess students throughout the unit with the quick quizzes, presentations, and assignments before a final test to ensure every student achieves mastery. And then project-based learning. Project-based learning is a student-centered teaching method to encourage learning throughout real-world questions or challenges. The question should be open-ended. You give students the method of investigation and any supplementary materials, and they go off and work with your support as needed. Project-based learning helps students develop critical thinking with the real-world experience they'll use for all the rest of their life. Students work on a project over an extended period of time, for a week up to a semester. That engages them in solving a real-world problem or answering a complex question. They demonstrate their knowledge and skills by creating a public product or presentation for a real audience. As a result, students develop deep content knowledge as well as critical thinking, collaboration, creativity, and communication skills. Project-based learning unleashes a contagious creative energy among students and teachers. And in case you are looking for a more formal definition, you can say project-based learning is a teaching method in which students gain knowledge and skills by working for an extended period of time to investigate and respond to an authentic, engaging, and complex question, problem, or challenge. For example, project-based learning options are many and varied, but can include planning a school event, researching the history of a simple machine, designing a playground for their school using geometry skills. And then let's speak about problem-based learning. Problem-based learning is like project-based learning with one major difference. It gives students the problem at the start of a topic, before they've been told some of the relevant concepts. Students receive an open-ended question and find their own information resources. Your role as a teacher is to provide materials and guidance when needed, and explain the evaluation process. For example, a problem-based learning project Could involve students pitching ideas and creating their own business plans to solve a societal need. Students could work independently or in a group to conceptualize, design, and launch their innovative product in front of classmates and community leaders. For example, for an environmentally friendly problem-based learning project, start with a topic like classroom waste or ecology. Students can research and find solutions, and you can implement them together. And then what is it, collaborative learning? Collaborative learning is a kind of like a bouquet of roses. While they might all have the same colors and shape on their own, together a bouquet is more than the sum of its parts. In collaborative learning, the students are working on a common task and doing the same actions, but they are working together to boost group performance and amplify learning. Students are going to need to know how to work with peers at any age, and collaborative learning can help them start building valuable team building skills. For example, use brainwriting as a collaborative learning activity that involves everyone. Introduce a discussion topic ahead of class. Have students brainstorm ahead of time and submit ideas anonymously or in person. Everyone reads the submissions before class and uses them as a jumping off point for class discussion. Even the shyest student may feel empowered to speak their mind. And what is it, cooperative learning? Cooperative learning, always the example of flowers, is a bunch of wild flowers, each one unique, but contributing to something beautiful. In cooperative learning projects, each student plays a different role in the structured group activity and makes unique contributions to the success of the group. Your role as a teacher is to facilitate the groups and guide their research. Cooperative learning teaches students that every group member's efforts are important to both individual and group success. Cooperative learning strategies offer students the possibility to learn by applying knowledge in an environment more similar to the one they will encounter in their future work life. Teachers get the chance to work on core competencies and on students' communication and soft skills, which are valuable for students' success in life and work, integrating them in school curricula. Cooperative learning strategies are content-free structures that can be reused in different school contexts, and we are going to learn how to use some of them. Strategies can be used both in pairs and groups and are designed to fulfill all the so-called PIES principles: positive interdependence, individual accountability, equal participation, and simultaneous interaction. For example, enhance learning with a jigsaw activity. Each student belongs to two groups, a home group and an expert group. Present students with a topic to research. Students will work with their expert group to learn about a specific subtopic, then return to their home group and present their findings. There is no best way to teach. There are, however, some general guidelines you can follow to make sure your instruction is as effective as possible. First, explain things using multiple methods. Expect students to do their best and don't accept less. Get to know your students. Use modern teaching methodology designed to engage students. Use individual, paired, and group activities equally. For a matter of time, I have not told you about other teaching methods, such as kinesthetic learning, inquiry-based learning, thinking-based learning, competency-based learning, discussion-based learning, social-emotional learning, immersive learning with virtual reality and augmented reality, and many others. But let's continue and let's speak about some tools useful for teaching. For the list below, I looked for apps that are really useful for different teaching methods. There are apps that allow you to combine several resources. And let's begin with the first, and the puzzle. And the puzzle is an easy and effective way to deliver videos in your classroom or outside your classroom. It's not just a video distributor. With the Add Puzzle, you can make the video come to life by adding audio notes and questions. And the puzzle makes it easy to add comments to videos, and the questions make the video more interactive. You can use it to empower critical thinking when students watch a video. Start by creating a free account on the puzzle and catch out some of the existing videos to get a sense of how teachers are using it. And the puzzles search will suggest high quality videos from sites such as YouTube, Khan Academy, TED Talks, and Vimeo. There is also the option to choose content from the curriculum library, which is a collection of videos organized by content area. Play around with the features to make sure that you edit sticks. Some videos can only be shared, not edited. And of course, remember to preview all video content for appropriateness. One way to get started with your own content creation is to use Edpuzzle for pre-teaching. Pair videos with the texts and extra info to support students preparing for an activity or lesson. Use the voice over feature to add a few quick checks to read aloud videos, to engage and support struggling readers, introducing the vocabulary words along with the pronunciation, definition, and synonyms. Formatted centers record yourself teaching a concept and have students stop for practice and submit their answers. Want to flip your classroom? Let the student use the tool to create a video lesson and share some of their best creations for their peers to complete on their own. Then go into deep in class and expand upon what students learn from remixing the videos. And then let's speak about book widgets. It allows you to make interactive lessons. Book Widgets provides strong digital templates of all kinds of interactive exercises. You just have to add your own content. Choose between more than 40 different widgets or exercises to engage your students. Make your own adapted crossword riddles, videos, jigsaw puzzles, web quests, quizzes, timelines, and much more. Just share a link with your students and they can start working. And what is Symbaloo? Symbaloo helps you organize your web or classroom resources in one place. These resources are stored on a dashboard in the form of buttons. This dashboard can be set as your own page, so you can find all the resources you need immediately. It gives you the possibility to personalize the dashboard. For teachers, Symbaloo has a special section that gives you the possibility to create your own learning paths or lesson plans. Just share the link or classroom code with your students and let them discover the learning path independently. And what BrainPop is it? BrainPop creates animated resources that support teachers and engage students in school, at home, and on mobile devices. Their content includes movies, quizzes, games, mobile apps, activity pages, and much more. The content covers hundreds of topics within math, science, social studies, English, technology, art and music, and health. BrainPop allows students to take some actions after seeing the explainer video, such as write about it, draw about it, play a game, and much more. And let's continue. Let's speak about Duolingo. If you are a language teacher, this app is heaven. Duolingo is made for teaching foreign languages and was awarded the App of the Year in 2013. Google invested a lot in this language app. There are just so many languages to choose for. Students have to set a goal from 5 up to 20 minutes a day and pick if they are a beginner or not. If not, they have to take a placement test. Duolingo focuses on words and their translation, and is very intuitive. And let's speak about TED Ed. TED Ed is TED's Youth and Education Initiative. TED Ed wants to celebrate the ideas of teachers and students around the world. Everything they do is with only one goal: supporting learning. They produce a growing library of original animated videos and provide an international platform for teachers to create their own interactive lessons. All videos made by TED and other teachers are mostly short videos that don't last longer than 5 minutes. It's very helpful with finding resources and helping you to explaining something. And what is it, Khan Academy? Khan Academy started out with its famous YouTube videos. Now you can just go to their website and search for a learning video about the topic you want to teach. Choose between subjects such as math, science, engineering, computing, arts and humanities, and economics and finance. By signing up, you can create a classroom and invite your students to take some video lessons and to take a quiz afterwards. And Kahoot. Kahoot is a game-based learning platform that makes it easy to create, share and play learning games or TV activities in minutes. Unleash and fun in classrooms, offices and living rooms. Create. Create a fun learning game in few minutes. We call these Kahoots. The format and number of questions is up to you. Add videos, images, and diagrams to your questions to amplify engagement. Play. Kahoots are the best played in a group setting. To join a game, you need a unique PIN. If you are the game host, you need a big screen. Players answer on their own devices, while questions are displayed on a shared screen. In addition to live games, you can also send Kahoot challenges that the players complete at their own pace, for example, for homework or remote training. Share. After a game, encourage players to create and share their own Kahoots. With one of our premium plans for schools or business, you can co-create games with your colleagues and save time on finding the relevant codes for your class or training sessions. Millions of teachers and students unleash the magic of learning with the Kahoot, introduce new topics, review, reward, and collect data for formative assessment. And I want to speak you another tool that is very useful in my opinion, Nearpod. With the Nearpod, you can create interactive presentations, add slide by slide, or choose a special way template you can adjust. All those slides make an amazing interactive presentation, especially if you add activities like quizzes, open-ended questions, exercises, polls, draw questions, and others. What about taking your student on a field trip within your presentation? Just add a slide with a virtual reality experience from Nearpod's library. When your presentation is ready, your students can opt by entering a code in their Nearpod smartphone app. As a teacher, you are in charge of the presentation. When you switch to another slide, the presentation on your students' phones will also switch to that slide. You can also let your students go throughout the presentation independently. When your students have to make a quiz or a poll, they can just do that on their screen, as it is a part of the presentation. The answers are gathered live, so you can see immediately what your students answered. Some of the uses of Nearpod are: first, at its most simple, you can use Nearpod as a substitute for other presentation tools. Instead of running a PowerPoint or Google Slides, a Canva, you can utilize a Nearpod and make the lesson more interactive. You can even drag and drop your existing Google Slides, PDF, and PowerPoints into the app for it to instantly create a Nearpod presentation. Then you can select from countless interactive activities and formative assessments. The presentation will be beamed to each student's device in the classroom. You also do not have to rely on students being able to see the board. Then personalize the provision and differentiation. Following on from the idea of using the Nearpod as a simple presentation tool, you could isolate the use of the app to one student or a small group. It could be that you are giving extra teaching provisions to particular pupils during a starter. This could be the missing link that provides more support for a child with visual impairments. It could provide that extra bit of help for a low attainer in your class. You can also duplicate the lesson and modify to deliver differentiated content to your students. You can edit these lessons with the personalized formative assessment activities, collect feedback, and inclusive accessibility. And then distributing student resources. Using the app to distribute resources is another simple way of using the classroom. You can fill your presentation with images or worksheets and ask the students to use Students' Notes feature to save the presentation to their drive to access the information later when studying for an exam or completing homework. And the live formative assessment. The app can become even more useful if you insert one of the Nearpod's many formative assessment activities into your presentation. As a teacher, you can create customized quizzes, polls, open-ended questions, matching pairs, draw-it activities, and more. Use these tools to view their responses and check for students' understanding in real time. The teacher can instantly gain insight into the class's overall understanding and make adjustments on the fly. Interactive gamification and activities. There is a time to claim science, solar system activity, for example. One simple way to implement Nearpod into your daily instruction is to have students do an interactive activity. Add interest and excitement into everyday learning with drag and drop, draw it, time to claim, etc. With the collaborative board, teachers can host classroom discussions with the students using an interactive board to share ideas in real time. And now let's speak about a tool that you cannot think that a tool useful for teaching, WhatsApp, or any other social media platform that allows communication, such as a secret Facebook group for your course. It can also help you in your teaching. A social media platform offers your students a way to communicate with each other and ask questions about their homework. That way, they don't have to bother their teacher all the time. WhatsApp enables seamless anytime communication between students and teachers. It is ideal for use in low internet areas and schools with the necessary digital resources for online teaching. WhatsApp is also a fundamental tool for teachers who only have essential smartphones without support for modern internet-based collaboration or communication tools like Zoom or Google Meet. Throughout the app's user-friendly, familiar interface, they can run online classes throughout WhatsApp to meet their teaching goals and help students meet their learning goals. Thus, even amid technological limitations, the use of WhatsApp in education ensures that student learning continues and that schools can keep their doors open, figuratively, if not literally. Unlike traditional classroom learning, which is often one way and reactive, WhatsApp is much more dynamic and proactive. Learners can not only listen to, watch and learn from their teachers and from the safety of their own homes. They can also access numerous resources and materials in real time to solidify their learning. Furthermore, they can complete assessments at home under the supervision of a parent or guardian, submit them to the teacher, and even discuss them via class with WhatsApp. These benefits enable deeper, community-oriented learning that created better results in learning retentions and knowledge upgradation. And other compelling advantages of WhatsApp for education Teachers can leverage WhatsApp for online teaching to deliver lectures in a virtual environment to support their teaching objectives and enhance students' learning and retention. They can provide videos, audio clips, PowerPoints, notes, assessments, and other resources to ensure that students continue to learn, even outside the physical boundaries of the traditional classroom. WhatsApp supports free voice and video calls, so teachers and students can stay in touch, even outside stipulated study periods. Teachers can also send timely reminders or notifications about exams, homework, dates, to keep students engaged with the learning materials and the subject. As required, the instructors can follow up with the students one-on-one to maintain the pace of their educational progress. This can be especially beneficial for students who struggle to keep up with the rest of the class or are too shy or intimidated to open up about their struggles in a public setting, like a school classroom. Teachers can stay in touch with such students and even give them extra attention to boost their confidence and improve their learning outcomes. And WhatsApp in education stimulates a dynamic learning environment, facilitates rich interactions, and in 24/7 learning, even outside the classroom, encourages real-time communication between the teachers and students, and teachers and parents, fosters collaboration between students so they can learn better together, share education and resources to match the learning styles and needs of different students. A familiar, comfortable interface that students love to use for learning. And now let's speak about Padlet. After students have reviewed an instructional video, it's a good idea to provide them with an opportunity to reflect on the content. Padlet provides teachers with a way to have students not only review and reflect on content, but also collaborate with their peers. Padlet is a great tool to use for collaborative group projects, as it eliminates the needs to schedule time in advance for the group members to meet face to face. Students are able to work freely on their group assignments at their own convenience, while still observing every change or contribution made by group members as soon as they are made without scheduling conflicts and the constraints produced from limiting project work to specified times. And how we can speak about Padlet and the summer model. Substitution. Students create their own Padlet with text-based posts rather than putting post-it notes on a class bulletin board. Augmentation. Students continue to work on the Padlet outside of class over the next few weeks. Redefinition. Students can collaboratively create multimodal connections with the peers and the broader global community. Modification. The student then give another's post feedback directly on the Padlet. Learning activities, some examples. History. Create a timeline to illustrate related events in a particular period, perhaps a war or government change. Create a timeline narrating the key events throughout the life of an important historical figure. Politics. Design a diagram depicting the organization, powers, and history of each branch of the government. Geography. Build a collage covering different regions of a particular country, including pictures and descriptions of local wildlife, terrain, climate, etc. Literature. You can create a book report covering important events and characters, along with the descriptions and their relationships to one another. Social studies. Illustrate research on a particular group of people with pictures and information about their traditions, attire, languages, beliefs. Biology. You can present a certain region's food chain with images and labels of the animal species. And then let's speak about Poll Everywhere. This is a powerful educational tool which can be used in and outside of the classroom. Poll Everywhere is a voting system completely reinvented, As a teacher, you have to set up a question on the web interface or smartphone app. Students can see it on their PC, tablet, or mobile phone. Questions can be polls, but also open ended questions, such as giving me a tip to improve my teaching. Students can respond by using the web app, a text message via the Poll Everywhere smartphone app, or even Twitter. You get instant audience feedback. And what is it? Loom is a screen capturing software that allows you to make instructional videos. Capture your screen on your phone facing camera and narrate it all at once. Then instantly share it with your students with a simple link. Loom is very easy to use. And Worklet is a tool that allows users to take control of the content that interests and inspires them. Worklet users can save content and organize it in folders or wikis, for example, student portfolios. Worklet is a great alternative to Padlet or Storyfy. You and your students can create videos, images, links, and more. It is also a great tool for keeping research projects interactive and social. And then Book Creator. Uh, it is designed to teach students by getting them excited about creating their own books on the topic they are learning about. Students can upload images, choose from emojis, make recordings and videos, and create them share a finished book they wrote. The free version of the tool allows educators to create a library of 40 books. Book Creator includes many templates to make creating various book projects easy and straightforward. Educators can also use it to assign materials to students in an interactive book form. My speech is ended, and I want to conclude with a quote said by the man I love more, and is Nelson Mandela. He said, education is the great engine of personal development. It is throughout education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine, that a child of farm workers can become the president of a great nation. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given. That separates one person from another. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prof. Really great. Once again, as it was expected that you will cover each and everything, and very nicely you have started from the quotation of Chinese proverb, and then later on you were talking about everything. I love you included the different teaching methodologies, the student-based learning, the teacher-based learning, the problem-based learning, and so many wonderful philosophies and methodologies you have discussed. As we got a lot of questions regarding the different apps, how can we utilize them, and what a great content you have already met, that you already explained so many wonderful apps for them in order to take advantage in the classroom. And there were so many new things which you have already discussed in your wonderful presentation, that how can they be beneficial, along with a wonderful illustration as well. So really wonderful once again. And within a 1 hour, you just taught us just like the one course, and we can get the certification for such a wonderful content. Thank you very much. The people who are watching and the people who will be watching in the future, they will get a clear idea that how can they enhance their teaching methodologies and take advantage of the different technologies, along with the different apps, that how they are more beneficial in order to deliver their message. And I love a wonderful of your content which contain the online and offline methodologies that both can cover in order to teach effectively. Thank you very much. But we have very few questions for you. They just want to have your opinion on that. So let me just start with the first question, which is a very interesting one, since you have already 3 decades experience. So that would be very easy for you to answer and to guide the people. They want to ask that, dear Prof, please share your opinion that how can teacher ensure the digital literacy among students and promote responsible technology use, because that is the most important aspect, that they use technology in a responsible manner. So your opinion that how can it be promoted further? Yes, please.
You have to show them how use all the useful tools with the technology to teach and learn. And for example, the use of WhatsApp or social platforms,
Yes.
not only to socialize and share for pictures or videos, stupid videos, but also to learn. And the example given by the teacher is very important to let them understand how we can use these tools also and in particular to learn and to share their knowledge all together, and not only to do stupid things.
Yeah. Thank you.
Our young people are using young people are using now social platforms.
Yes, wonderful. And now there is one another question, and I think it's the another important aspect which needs your illustration as well. That they want to ask that we are slowly moving towards the next phase of the industrial revolution. What new technologies will we face in the future, and are we really ready to face the latest digital tools? Yes, please.
Yes, so if we teach in a good way to our students how to use them, we are ready. We have to. We should. Maybe pandemic, COVID-19 pandemic period helped us about this, because we were always online. So we had to learn how to use new digital technologies. We used them every day, every time to teach and learn. So we, in particular, teachers became more prepared about this use of digital technologies and tools to teach, digital tools for teaching.
Very true. Thank you very much once again. And Prof, I really enjoyed this whole session with you, the way you conducted it. And so many people joined for the first time your session, and I'm sure they would have enjoyed this session and they will be watching the previous of your two great session with us as well. It was so indeed a pleasure to listen to your wonderful experiences and wonderful thoughts on the different things. And I love the way you illustrated everything. And Prof, since you know, at the end of the session, we ask the each guest regarding their message to the world. So this time, what is your message to the world as a teacher, speaker, author, teacher, researcher, learner, and educator? Yes, please.
It's always the same. I don't change my idea, my quote that I say always at the end of my session with you. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. And it had been said by Nelson Mandela. And it
Wow.
is always real and important for all us. Education.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I love this quotation as well. And what we are doing is the same thing. We are trying to bring the positive change to the world, to the globe, as we have the global citizenship. So definitely, we have the education is the most powerful tool we have, and we are taking advantage of this knowledge and information to change the world in a positive way. And you are contributing for the last 3 decades. It's wonderful, and we wish you good luck for the upcoming endeavors. And our prayers are with you. Please keep it up. And the way you are doing is fantastic, and we are looking forward for more your collaboration and contribution towards the world.
Thank
So,
you.
yeah, thank you very much once again. And to the audience, that please do follow our distinguished guest speaker through her research work, and you can email her for future learning and guidance. She's very generous and always ready to help the people. Moreover, wonderful explanation and powerful content which the great speaker has already elaborated will help you to learn and develop your understanding regarding the different teaching methodologies and the latest technologies. So that's all we have time for today. And thank you once again, Professor Melissa Esposito. And I would like to thank our audience who joined us. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Until next session, take care of yourself.